Genesis. I'm one of our Serengeti keepers here at Africa, and today I'm here with Jericho, our southern white rhino.
Can you tell me about the different types of rhino?
So there's 5 different types of rhino. Jericho here is a white rhino, and then there's also black rhino. Those 2 are going to be the ones you're going to find over in Africa. But then there's 3 more species. There's going to be a Sumatran rhino, a Javan rhino, and the greater one-horn rhino. Those ones are all going to be in Asia.
If I were to travel to Africa on a safari, how would I be able to tell the difference between a black rhino and a white rhino?
Yeah, so if you take a look here at Jericho, he has very wide lips. It kind of looks like a rectangle up there. Now that's how you can tell if he's a white rhino. A black rhino is going to have opposite features. Their lip is going to come to a point and going to be kind of triangular. And that is because he would eat things off the ground, so he has more of that grazing pattern, while a black rhino would be a browser. So you'll see them, they'll be grabbing stuff off a tree, so they have those prehensile lips to help them pick off the things that they like.
Tell me about your journey in becoming a rhino keeper.
So I started at a little place called Zoo, Montana. I was an intern there, and I asked the keepers how I could get where they are. And they told me about this school in California where I'd be working at a zoo on campus as I went to college. So I'd spend half my day in class and half my day with the animals. So I decided to move to California and go through that program. And one of my classes there was all about internships. So I got to choose anywhere in the world that I wanted to go. And I chose here at Africa. And I did a week-long internship and shadowed all the keepers here. And I went home and I immediately applied to come back. And luckily they took me, and now I'm here hanging out with my favorite animals.
What would you say is the most important advice you can offer someone who wants to work with rhinos?
So my advice is talk to everyone. Anyone who's a zookeeper wants to talk about their animals. So any park you go to or any zoo, just go up to a keeper and start asking them questions and get to learn more. We love to talk.
I heard September is a very special month for you and rhinos. Can you tell me why?
So one of my favorite things I've learned since coming to Africa is that I get to share a very special day with this guy. Me and Jericho have the same birthday, but there's also something happening that day that's bigger than both of us. It's World Rhino Day. It's going to be September 22nd. World Rhino Day is to celebrate and bring awareness to rhinos all over the world, as well as all the people that take care of them.
Why is it important to raise awareness about rhino conservation?
So there's a lot happening to these guys out in the wild. Their numbers are decreasing, and that is mostly just because of poaching. People are poaching them still for those horns, which a lot of people believe have some miracle qualities. But really, it's just made up of keratin, which is the exact same thing that our hair and toenails are made out of. Now, people think they have medicinal purposes, and that goes back generations and generations. So it's really hard to break. When you think about it, using that in your food to cure you, that's just like putting toenails in your food. It's not very great.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the depletion of their population numbers?
Yeah, so like I said, Jericho here is a southern white rhino, and out in the wild there's about 19,000 to 21,000 of these guys left out in the wild, but those numbers are still going down. There's about 1 rhino killed every 7 hours out in the wild, so that averages around 3 a day. And so with those numbers, that's not going to last us very long. There is a different subspecies, and that is going to be the northern white rhino, and they only have 2 of them left. So you can see just how drastic those changes can be. Thank you guys all for joining and listening in today. I hope you learned something about rhinos. The best thing you guys can do is get educated about these guys. So look into World Rhino Day a little bit longer. And if you feel like having some fun, come join us on World Rhino Day to celebrate Jericho and both of our birthdays.